Michael. All right. Welcome to your HR Homegirl. I am your host, Natalie Carter. I am a HR professional with over a decade of experience. And then this is,
Your co-host, your girl Marlene.
and we are super excited to be here today. This has been a long time coming. I've been thinking about this podcast for over 6 months now and trying to find my way into like a social media and what I feel passionate about. And it's not TikTok dances, it's not makeup routines, but it is yapping and it is the corporate life and anything to do with HR. So I started this brainchild to really just talk about HR, talk about the workplace, and really have fun and talk about workplace drama. I am a huge trash TV girl. I love, wine nights with girlfriends, talking about the drama inside, outside of work. And I figured as an HR professional, I'm really like, handcuffed to the chains of leadership and ownership of like what I can share with employees, what is privileged, what is confidential. And a lot of my friends are always asking, like, what kind of situations do you deal with? Are people doing drugs? Are they taking alcohol to work? Why are they getting fired? All the things. And I feel like I can tell them, but I want to tell all of you. So I thought of this podcast and trying to find a co-host. And as people know, if you're starting a business, trying to find your new best friend, trying to find a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you want to find the right person. And the right person was not in front of me. I had to go searching. So here comes Marlene, and I'm going to let her give a little bit of context of how we first started. But just to give some insight for this podcast and what you guys can expect is really a place of Reddit stories, workplace drama, entertainment, lots of laughter, lots of opinions. And then at the very end, hopefully some insight from an HR professional and giving you practical and real advice, not legal advice, but practical advice. And then Marlene coming from an employee perspective of what does the employee expect? What is the goal? What do they want out of HR, employers, ownership? And then at the end of the day, just having lots of fun. Two girls on their couch in their room, just chit chatting and having a good time. So you can plug us in when you are doing laundry, when you're working, doing those, annoying Excels or whatever it is, going on a walk. So we are just here to be your source of entertainment. And you're just tired of music. You're tired of hearing your coworkers yap if you're in cubicles. You can always just plug us in and listen to us talk. But I want to give some insight and pass it to Marlene about how did this even happen and how did we meet? Because I am located in San Diego and she is in Texas. And we would have never met if not this podcast.
Thank you, Natalie. We met like every modern love story on social media. Natalie slid into my DMs, and truly the rest has been history because here we are starting a podcast together, what feels like worlds apart. And thank God. Thank God you did, Natalie, because making my dreams come true, being on a podcast, starting a podcast was on my vision board for years, and it just never came into fruition. So I'm super excited to be here today. As Natalie mentioned, we hope we're going to give you guys some entertainment, some opportunity, a safe space, if you will, to share thoughts and just build a community here. I come from the corporate world, the same as Natalie, not in HR and digital marketing agencies. I have about 9 years of experience in total, and I used to get paid to talk to people all day long as an account manager. Now I've pivoted quite a bit into a new role, love my company, love what I do. And as Natalie mentioned, I'm here as like the everyday employee. I myself have found myself in the HR other side of the table in HR. And now I'm here sitting in front of HR, but it's not scary. So we're super excited to break down the stereotypes and just connect, give you guys advice. It's hard out there, and hopefully I can bring some really good stories as well as advice on how to navigate the corporate world and also how to build your career, because we're all here working together and wanting to do amazing things in our career. So
Yeah, unless you are a trust fund baby or you have a rich boyfriend, which if you do they have friends? And that's a joke if my boyfriend's listening.
don't let them
But
hear it.
everyone has to go to work. So how do we make it fun? How do we progress in our career? How do we, get more out of it? Having work-life balance, more money, more promotions, more title, more authority, whatever it is. There's going to be a lot of information on that segment as well. But for the most part, this is entertainment based. and just bringing a lot of raunchy story, ghetto stories, fun, drama, all the things you can think of. This is definitely a rated R HR podcast. There's no HR filtering here, so feel free to leave whatever comment that you would like. Give us your input. We do have a Reddit page as well, which we'll plug in the comments so that you guys as well can confess your dirty little secrets at work. All right. We are going to give a sneak peek of one story. It'll be kind of PG for the first story, just to give you guys a little taste. But there is 1 and 2 episodes out live and ready for you guys to listen to get another feel of our podcast. So please go ahead and listen to those. We will be sending out and posting our videos, episodes live every 2 weeks until we get the hang of everything. So every 2 weeks we'll be posting a live episode. So stay tuned for that and more information. You can also follow us on Instagram, which is your HR Homegirl pod. So feel free to follow us there. But other than that, let's get into it. All right. So let me pull up the story. All right. So teaser is titled, "I'm not a bad employee. Why do I keep getting fired?" About 6 years ago, I worked at a job I was good at. One week, I was sent out of town to do a work for a client who was known to be very difficult to please. When I got back, I was told the client was very happy. A few days later, my boss called me into his office and told me I wasn't working out and he had to let me go. I wasn't very upset as I had just finished school a month before and was looking to move on anyways, but nevertheless, I was confused. If I had just done a great job for a client that other employees couldn't satisfy, why wasn't I working out? Since then, I've only quit jobs. Now, about 16 months ago, I landed my dream job and things were going good. I made a minor mistake and didn't clean up properly at the end of my shift. It was a hectic day and I was juggling a lot of different tasks. Out of nowhere, I'm now suspended for 3 days. I don't understand why. Yes, I did make a mistake, but I was extremely minor compared to other errors I see coworkers making daily, and they aren't even talked to about it. I was just flabbergasted as to why I've been singled out. Am I the problem? Is it my personality that rubs people wrong, or am I just actually not good as an employee as I thought I was? I'm just confused. Please advise. So, not a lot of context in terms of like what they did exactly. And I don't know if the manager even gave them feedback either, which is like the first thing that I would ask.
Agreed.
But if you're already getting fired and you're brought into the HR department or your manager's office and they're saying, "Hey, you're fired," I don't know about you, Marlene, but I'm like, F it. All right. Well, I'm done here. Like, and that's what they expect, right? Like, they don't really expect you to even ask questions. They think it's going to be a 2-3 minute conversation max. Even from someone that has fired many, many people in the past, we're banking on it being 2 minutes of like, hey, it's not working out. Here's your last check. Please sign these documents. Best of luck in your future endeavors. Like, that's the line.
I will say, it sounds like this person has no idea why at all they were like on any sort of performance improvement plan. It sounds like that didn't happen. It also just sounds like they're in the dark. So I would probably be your worst nightmare, Natalie, because I would have asked, what's going on? Why am I being fired? Is there proof and just why I'm being fired and then for a reasonable legal cause? So, like you said, they didn't give too much insight, but I think there's something going on that they're not letting this person know. It may be them, but at least let me know.
Yeah, well, it's like half and half always. It's either like it's definitely your fault and you're just not aware, or we've made you aware and you just are oblivious, or two, I want to talk to the fact of like, it's not always you. They did say like they felt singled out, and it seems like they've only been at this company for about a year and a half, 16 months. So in that realm, because I myself have been fired at a company that I've only been with for less than a year, and coming from someone that's in HR that truly stays in the lines of like policies and what's right and what's wrong, and trying to have enough emotional intelligence to be like, okay, well, don't act this way in front of this person, or don't say this in front of that person. And I don't know if this is the case there, but sometimes it's them. And at the end of the day, if you are questioning things, if they don't like how your personality is, if you're rubbing someone else wrong, if you're new and asking too many questions or trying to change things, or they just realize, yeah, I just don't like you and like you're not fitting in with the culture. Most states are at will. So if they want to fire you, like you're done. There's no real point of arguing or asking questions unless you truly think they fired you for legal cause or illegal cause.
That's fair. I also, whoever who this is, it happens to everybody. Everybody gets fired at some point, and if you haven't, you've probably worked 2 jobs your entire life. It's the worst feeling in the world. It's almost like a breakup. Like, why are you breaking up with me? What's going on? Why are we working out?
Yeah.
But it sucks that this person was fired from their dream role, and kind of like what you said earlier, you got to just say, okay, on to the next, because there's no going back, whatever they say either way. So might as well just pick yourself up and hopefully you find another dream role. I will say, I'll end it with this, is I would have definitely asked at least, why am I getting fired?
Yes, you should. And to top it off with some HR advice is one, ask the question. Two, do not leave that office without asking for a severance and not signing shit. Um, so whether you are working at freaking Taco Bell or you are a VP at some marketing firm, you should be asking for something. Whether that's your PTO, making sure that you get paid out for PTO depending on the state. If you are asking for $500 for whatever reason, $500 for minimum, $5,000 maximum, whatever that looks like. But you should be asking for something. Do not leave just empty handed unless you really know that you did something wrong, or you just don't care. But either way, don't leave without some type of answers. I will say you never know. And I think with Reddit stories, we only get half of the perspective. We don't get to listen to the employer. We don't get to listen to the other person, the coworker, the boss, the manager. So we're trying to decipher everything from one story. And a lot of the comments, it's split half and half. It's either it's your fault and you really need to evaluate yourself as an employee and see what you're doing wrong. And then the other half is it's not you. Sometimes it just doesn't work out and they don't like you. And so it's so important never to really tie yourself to a company because there's always another job. These companies don't care about you. They say they will. If your company says that we're all a family here, they're a lie. Unless that really is your blood, do not believe them.
No. But it's really interesting. You kind of made me think about something. We negotiate when we're getting hired. Negotiate when you're getting fired. I guess that's a real
Yes.
thing. I never even thought to ask for, if they aren't offering me severance, that you can ask, hey, can I, like you said, whatever dollar
Yeah.
amount, or that is, I'm taking that with me.
Yes,
I
there
hope
is
I don't get
no
fired.
shame. Like the worst thing is they're going to say is no. But if you can squeeze out $500 out of this company just to like make you shut up and go away and you can go, buy some shoes and buy some new work outfits for your
Love
next job opportunity, go ahead and ask. When
love it.
I when I was fired, or I was soft fired. I was basically given an option to either stay and be in another position or leave, them knowing I was not going to take a demotion or transfer or anything. Like, if this is my job, this is my job, and I'm doing it well. And we can dive into more about that later. But I'm like, you guys are going to give me 1 month of severance. I'm asking for 3 months of severance. So let's talk about that. I think there's always negotiation to be had. So never settle, even when you're getting fired, even when you're getting broken up with.
Wow.
There is something to gain in those moments. Perfect. Besides that, that's our little teaser. If you want to listen to more, if you want to drop your comments, or even message us on Reddit and drop your own stories, we're happy to share those as well. But that's just one little teaser of what we are going to go over during this podcast, and a lot of them are going to be way more PG-13, way more rated R than that. But I thought that was a quick little teaser of like, what do we actually talk about? What's our opinions? And I'm sure as a person listening, you too have gotten fired before. And if not, I pray that never comes to you.
But now you know to negotiate when you do.
Yes, exactly. All right. Again, this is your HR Homegirl. We are signing off. Thank you for listening to us and joining us on this new journey. And we hope that you stick around.
Would you